look forward to their response.
My Lords, I will speak today about our government's response to global Christian persecution. In 2019, the Bishop of Truro, now Bishop of Winchester and a member of this House, highlighted in his review the near abandonment of the world's most persecuted religion by Western powers. By the UN's definition, levels of persecution of Christians around the globe were close to genocidal. Their extinction was imminent in the Middle East. In Iraq, the number of Christians is now 10% of what it was 20 years ago. Christian persecution is now even worse and still the worst of any religion in the world. 1 in 7 Christians, 365 million, face high to extreme levels of persecution for their faith. 80% of all acts of religious persecution are against Christians, which is a staggering proportion. Nearly 5,000 Christians were killed for their faith last year, compared with nearly 3,000 in 2019, when Truro was published. And twice as many Christians were forced to flee their homes in 2023 compared to 2022. Any concerted effort to secure freedom of religion or belief barely scratches the surface if Christians are ignored. This is not just because of these numbers. As Truro states, the persecution of Christians is a bellwether for repression more generally. I need to mention 2 major areas: Northern Africa, including Nigeria, which the noble Baroness Cox, her speech was very eloquently describing what's happening there, and the Sahel, and the Indian subcontinent, where Christians are routinely targeted, terrorized, and killed, in countries which aspire to be, or already are, major trading partners with the UK. Nigeria is the 6th worst country to live in as a Christian. More are killed there for their faith than in all other countries combined. Armed groups like Boko Haram or Islamic State West Africa Province burn churches, target Christians for rape, murder, and kidnap. Terrorism cannot be solely blamed. Deborah Yakubu was murdered in 2022 after expressing concerns in a college WhatsApp group about discrimination against Christian students. She was stoned, beaten, then burnt on a pile of tyres by a mob. Yet the UK signed a $7 billion trade partnership with Nigeria a matter of weeks ago. So may I ask my noble friend, the Foreign Secretary, if such abuses were raised at any point in negotiations? My Lords, in the Indian subcontinent, persecution against Christians is rising, and rising fast. Speaking about your faith is hazardous in most of India, where Christians can be arrested and subjected to physical violence on false charges of forced conversions. Acid attacks, so-called honour killings, mob beatings, and executions happen regularly, as do arson attacks on churches. Again, can my noble friend confirm that this government will use the lever of trade to improve rights to religious freedom? The Foreign Office's own assessment in 2022 found that many Truro review recommendations had not been implemented. It cited failure to create both an early warning mechanism for religious persecution and a data-gathering system of religious freedom abuses. There was still no name or term for Christian persecution, and no meaningful culture shift in the Foreign Office to take it seriously. More positively, on the FCDO scorecard, their November 2023 white paper on UK aid refers for the first time to and prioritises persecution on grounds of religion or belief as a driver of poverty. I commend my right honourable friend Andrew Mitchell, the Minister who listened to FORB concerns and included this. Additionally, the Prime Minister now has a highly effective envoy for freedom of religion or belief, my honourable friend Fiona Bruce. Her important role should be established in statute. Will the government support the bill to secure its continuity? It acts as an important counterweight when considering with whom we trade. I understand the pressure to the government to bow down to the god of bilateral trade agreements while sacrificing the weak and vulnerable, and our own British values. But where did these values come from? The historian Tom Holland says in Dominion, "So profound has been the impact of Christianity on the development of Western civilization that it has come to be hidden from view. Without Christianity, where would there be tolerance, respect for others' views, and the impulse to move beyond narrow personal or indeed national self-interest?"
House of my interests in the Register, especially as